together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stayed making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome, guys, back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. I'm Timothy Earle, and today we've got more college baseball. Day 2 of the regionals. There'll be some elimination games today. There are some games that could send you to the winners bracket final today. Plenty of good games and plenty of upsets yesterday. We'll do a full recap of all the college baseball stuff as we go through the show, because obviously we're going to basically have the same kind of rundown from yesterday. I'm going to pull up the regional. We're going to talk about it a little bit, what happened yesterday with it, and what I think is going to happen today. And then we'll kind of just break it down through. And we'll kind of take a live look at my futures as well, because a lot of them really went in the right direction yesterday. Because yesterday, I will quickly mention, was an absolutely massive day in college baseball. And can I see exactly what my record was? No. Okay. Twitter is not. Oh, nope. There it is. Okay. Yesterday, we went 22-12, up 11.65 units in college baseball. Absolutely massive. Absolutely great. I'm more than happy with how yesterday went. Some big dogs in there. Some plays that I really liked. I know a lot of people were against, and mine cashed, and it was really, really nice to see. And we'll talk about those more when it comes to it. Also, I will mention on the Picks and Parleys website real quick. Yesterday was a great day on the site as well. By the way, I don't have any plays up to date just yet. No, I have the NBA play up, but MLB will be up after the show, and you guys can get the complete card either on picksandparleys.net or through the Earle Sports Bets YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Yesterday on the site was a 7-2 day, up 5.5 units. We cashed on the under in the Cubs-Reds game, under 8.5. The Milwaukee Brewers on the money line. The Mets under 8. The Red Sox on the money line. We faded both the Braves and the Phillies yesterday after their doubleheader. Both cashed. Both winners by 4 runs. The New York Liberty are now 6-0 for the first time since, 2006? They win and cover the 7.5. One of my favorite baseball plays yesterday, and I know I want to get takes on this one. I had the Kansas City game going over the total, and it finished 7-5. And the Vegas Aces -10. We started off the day 10-0. Minnesota -4 against Phoenix. They win by 3, so missed it by a run there. And then the Yankees, I believe they fell apart late. They fell apart late, giving up 4 runs in the 6th, 2 runs in the 7th. They lose 8-5. Could not get the run line on the Bronx Bombers. 7-2, up 5.5. I will take that every single day of the week. Massive, massive day in college baseball yesterday. Hopefully we can turn into a repeat from yesterday, including my ECU Pirates with a nice little winner. They were my biggest plus money cash yesterday, so very, very happy with that. No chat yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hop into the thing. Let's see. Let's quickly look whether or not we have college baseball regionals anymore. Does not look like we have college baseball regional, the regional odds anymore. So that's interesting to see. But we'll talk about those. We'll start off in the Vanderbilt Regional. And we'll start whether or not you thought it was a home run or not. Vanderbilt takes the game 4-3 versus Wright State. Wright State had a no-hitter through 6 innings. Very impressive start from them. And then Vanderbilt does what they do. The bullpen comes in. They hit 3 separate home runs. One of them was a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th. Gives them the 4-3 lead. They hold on to the lead in the top of the 9th. I had the under in that Vanderbilt game, so that was a nice winner to start off there. In the earlier game was Louisville and ETSU. I had ETSU. Unfortunately, that was one of my losers, as ETSU, I believe, lost 8-3. So Louisville gets the job done there. Vanderbilt and Louisville will be playing in the winners bracket. ETSU and Wright State will be playing in the losers bracket. So 1 versus 2 in the winners and 3 versus 4 in the losers, as it normally should be. Now, when it came to it, yesterday, I had a bunch of unders. Today, there's going to be a bunch of overs because you're not going to see as many aces going today. A lot of the smaller schools were running their aces, which makes sense. You should always be running your ace game 1. But we'll start off. I believe the early game in this one is the losers bracket. So ETSU and Wright State. I did take Wright State today. There it is, plus 190. I took a shot with Wright State. I like what I liked what I saw yesterday against Vanderbilt. ETSU had a really good season. They lost one of their big starters a couple weeks ago, or last week, conference tournament time. And I think that they're feeling a little bit of the impact from it. I think ETSU is the 2 in barbecue here. I got Wright State plus 190. And then in the Vanderbilt-Louisville game, I believe I took the under. Vanderbilt under the 12. I know Louisville's got a really good offense. That's fine. I see Vanderbilt being able to slow them down. And here's the key here. I think Vanderbilt's pitching is really, really good. They've got enough pitching. They had their guy go 7 1/3 yesterday. They didn't eat up much bullpen. They didn't use up they used up a couple of the good arms, but they'll be good for today too. I think Vanderbilt will be just fine. I think they'll win this game like 4-2, 4-3, something similar to yesterday. I like the under in the winners bracket game. I like Vanderbilt as well, but I'm not going to be laying. What would have been the run line for Vanderbilt? Minus 140 for the minus 1.5. I was not going to lay that. I took the under 12. And I am betting every single game just because I want to. This is a tournament that I have a lot of fun with every single year. I only have 8 units in play each day. Obviously, when I grade them, I grade it to a 1-unit scale because that's a lot of math, and I don't want to deal with quarter unit math. But take whatever I made, quarter units, and that's what I'm doing. So in the Vanderbilt regional, I got under in the Vanderbilt game. I got Wright State money line. I still have Vanderbilt futures to make Omaha. I believe that was the only regional futures I had in that region. Yeah, Vanderbilt to make Omaha plus 120. So I'm going to continue to ride the Vanderbilt Commodores in that one. We'll keep on rolling because we got Southern Miss and Alabama, Southern Miss region. And, boy, this one is a little bit interesting because Southern Miss and Alabama are playing today. Oh, yeah, of course they're going to play in the winners bracket, right? Right? No. This is one of 2 regionals that is absolute chaos, and I love it. Miami got the win yesterday, 5-3 versus Alabama. We cashed on Miami as well. We'll talk more about Miami in a minute. Columbia not only beats Southern Miss, they blew them out. That was an 11-4 game. Columbia came to play against Southern Miss, which was great to see for my Miami futures. So we got now Southern Miss and Alabama playing, and that's going to be in the early game where I do have Southern Miss money line. I got it 125. So I do like Southern Miss to knock out Alabama. On the winners side with Miami versus Columbia, I do have Miami to win the regional. And trust me, I want them to win the regional. That's a plus 750. I took Columbia plus 3.5 today. I just don't see a blowout here. Columbia is going to be a team that's going to be scrappy. I could see Miami winning that game by a run or 2. I do not see that game as a blowout. That, or if it is, I could see a late inning run that will give Columbia like within 3 or something like that. I I don't see this game being a blowout. Give me Columbia plus 3.5. Give me Southern Miss, and hopefully it's Columbia losing by a run or two, because I still want Miami to win the regional at plus 750. But that's in a very, very good spot now, because that was plus 750. I can imagine it's probably 3-1 at this point, 250, 3-1, something like that. So I am really hoping Miami can get the job done, but we'll see. Supness, what's up? Lex, welcome. Cal Poly. Yeah, that was I'll talk about that one in a little bit, but Cal Poly was a frustrating play because Cal Poly lost 3-2, and Arizona had 2 hits. Cal Poly had 10. They just really lacked the hitting with runners in scoring position. And at the end of the day, in order to win these regional games, because these are good teams, you have to do that. Seattle Storm, I don't remember what Seattle did yesterday. I don't remember what they did. I'm guessing they lost. And the Orioles. I'm never trusting the Orioles, so yeah, I don't know about that one. Talking about another game, that's another regional that's flipped on its head. We got Oregon State's regional in Corvallis, where we get Oregon State, TCU, USC, and St. Mary's. So Oregon State is playing TCU today in the losers bracket. Oh, I love it. This is great. Because you had Oregon State lose yesterday to St. Mary's. St. Mary's got the job done there. I did have Oregon State in that game. You know what? Oh, well. I'm kind of okay with it because I had USC yesterday. And USC against a TCU team that a lot of people could say, oh, this team could go to Omaha. Oh, this team is going to win the regional. TCU could realistically go 0-barbecue today. And USC is in the winner's bracket. I got them plus 750 to win the regional. Both Miami and USC are in great spots where they both won their first game, and now they get a 4 seed in order to go to get to 2-0, and then go from there. So I'm really, really happy with the positions that those are in right now. Now I'll go and look at what I got for today in these 2 games. For the early game with Oregon State, I am on the Beavers. I do think the Beavers knock out. I do have them knocking out TCU, which is fun. And then I do have USC tonight, minus 2.5. So I took both favorites in this regional. Obviously, I want USC to get there. I want USC to get to that 2-0 game because then they need to win 1 game, and I cash a plus 750. It's the same deal with Miami later tonight as well. Very, very big that I can get those going. USC today and Oregon State today, minus 1.5. First 5 over. Yeah, they did not hit yesterday. Sorry, Lex. I'm all in college baseball mode. I bet MLB yesterday. I kind of bet it and forget it, and yeah, I had a good day, but I kind of bet it and forget it. Let's keep on rolling through the regionals. We get the Florida State regional, Tallahassee, Florida State, Northeastern, Mississippi State, Bethune-Cookman. Florida State with a 6-2 win yesterday versus Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman covered the 5.5 runs. That was a winner for us there. And then one of my favorite plays, and a play I gave out on Picks and Parleys on the free pick, Mississippi State snaps Northeastern's 27-game winning streak. And I saw that one coming. A lot of people love Northeastern, and I grouped Northeastern in the same category as Alabama, as TCU, as Florida. And there was another team that was kind of like that one. In Western Kentucky. I kind of grouped all of them in the same thing of teams, 2 and 3 seeds that people were way too high on. Northeastern's a great team. I love the little schools, but Mississippi State was such an easy play yesterday. So Florida State and Mississippi State will play in the winner's bracket. Northeastern and Bethune-Cookman will play in the lower bracket. For that Bethune-Cookman game, I believe I have the under. And I know I said I love overs today because you're going to see a lot of non-aces. Northeastern has the best pitching staff in college baseball. They have the best ERA in all of college baseball. So that's a Northeastern team that can pitch. And I think they shut down Becky and Cookman. I was not going to lay – what was Northeastern's run line today? Northeastern was a 4.5 run favorite. I was not going to lay that here. So I just took the under there. I could see a 4-1, 5-1 type of game. I just don't want to play the spread game there. Florida State and Mississippi State. I did take the Bulldogs. I took Mississippi State money line. I got them at plus 140. Once again, another team that I have to win a regional that's in a 1-0 spot. I'm pretty sure all – oh, yeah, that's not looking good. That's dead. But pretty much Rhode Island was I had Rhode Island to win a regional. They're not going to do it. I have Irvine regional in Omaha. They're 0-1. And NC State to win the regional. They're 0-1. Other than that, all my other teams that have futures on are 1-0 or better. Or 1-0 right now. I have Mississippi State to win the regional at plus 275. So and that's going to be a big indication of Mississippi State needs to win tonight. Because if they lose tonight, have to go through the losers bracket, have to play Northeastern again. That could be a problem because I don't know if they could beat Northeastern twice. I just like them really a lot in the first game. So I like Mississippi State plus 140 and the under in the Northeastern game. All right. We'll head to Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill's regional, UNC, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Holy Cross. Both 1 and 2 seeds won yesterday. I was on Holy Cross plus 5.5. That cashed when UNC with a dominant pitching performance by Knapp, the ACC pitcher of the year. He went 8 1/3 of shutout baseball. Looked really, really good in a 4-0 win. So UNC's offense couldn't do enough to get them to cover. Holy Cross plus 5.5 was a nice winner. Oklahoma took care of business with their number 2 starter against Nebraska. I did have Nebraska yesterday. I figured, hey, if they're not going to start Witherspoon, Nebraska has a shot. They didn't. That was a 9-3, 9-4 game, something like that. Oklahoma took care of business in that one. In terms of the losers bracket game, I did take the over. Holy Cross threw their ace in game 1. Their pitching staff is not great. I think they let up runs here. Same with Nebraska. They started their ace yesterday. I see runs in this game. Both teams have good enough offenses to win their conference. So I see this one as a game that's going to go over the total. Now, for UNC and Oklahoma tonight, I took a little bit of Boomer Sooner. I took Oklahoma. They are starting their ace. This was the gamble that Oklahoma wanted. They needed to win game 1 after starting their number 2 starter. They get Witherspoon against UNC's number 2, which is huge for them. And I got their money line. Where's Oklahoma? Oklahoma plus 130 to head to the 2-0. I do think that UNC still probably makes it out of the regional. But Oklahoma is now very dangerous and put themselves in a fantastic spot. I'm going to reward them here. I'm taking them plus 130 money line against UNC today. I did not have any futures for this one, so that's fine. Another regional that had a little bit of a oopsie last night. Well, not really an oopsie, but that was kind of fun. Oregon, the Eugene regional, Oregon, Arizona, Cal Poly, and Utah Valley. Oregon loses to Utah Valley. That was a 6-5 game. Controversial call at the end. It can go either way. I'm not going to dive deep into that one. I had Utah Valley plus 4.5 runs. I should have taken the money line. But that was a very, very impressive win. One of the four seeds to win yesterday: Utah Valley, Columbia, St. Mary's, and it was Murray State. All getting victories as 4 seeds yesterday. Was very, very impressive. Now, for the losers bracket side of it, which is going to be Cal Poly and Oregon, I did take Cal Poly today. I got them at plus 195. And we kind of see this with Oregon, and it's kind of funny. When they host a regional, they can't get out of their own way. when they host, they never do well. I think that Oregon could be the first team eliminated in the Oregon Regional, which is kind of crazy to say. So I did take Cal Poly. I took them plus 195. Winners of the Big West. I like that spot. Utah Valley and Arizona at the end of the night. I did take the over. Once again, another spot. Both Arizona, Utah Valley started their aces yesterday. And I could see this one getting ugly quick. Arizona's got a really good offense. Utah Valley has enough offense to get this one over the total. I did lean Utah Valley in this game to cover the spread at least. I believe the spread was 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. I kind of leaned Utah Valley. Utah Valley will be the home team in that one today, which is interesting to see. I got the over though, over 12.5 in the Utah Valley game. Let's take us to Auburn's regional, where we have Auburn, NC State, Stetson, Central Connecticut. Once again, I did take a future in this one, and unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I had Stetson money line yesterday, plus 170 was a winner. I have NC State to win the regional. I still think NC State can make a run through the losers bracket. We'll talk about them in a minute. Auburn took care of business against Central Connecticut State. And I don't remember. Did I have let me pull up from yesterday whether or not that was a cover or not. I think Central Connecticut didn't cover. No, Central Connecticut did cover last night. Did they? I thought they didn't. I could be wrong, and I could have mismarked it. Because I thought I think it might have been 9-4 win. It might have been 9-5. I'll be honest, I don't remember. That was one of the late games, and I did fall asleep early last night, so I just needed because I'm for the next 3 weeks I have to work at 4:00 in the morning. Did I misgrade that? Am I looking up Auburn? Nope, 9-5. They covered. Okay, good. Then they must have scored a run in the top of the ninth. Top of the eighth, they scored a run, was able to get the cover. That's right. All right, good. Sorry, I just want to make sure of that. A 9-5 win yesterday from Auburn to win that one. And Stetson putting the belt to ass to NC State, which was a lot of fun to watch. That was an 11-2 game. And I love watching NC State lose. It's the best. Looking into this one, losers bracket is Central Connecticut and NC State. I did take Central Connecticut plus 4.5 runs. I think they're able to keep it competitive against NC State. I do think NC State probably wins the game by a run or two, but I wouldn't be surprised if Central Connecticut pulled off an upset. Maybe after yesterday's game, NC State's going to react one of two ways. They're going to either come out here and fight, and they're going to look good, or they're going to roll over and die. And I'm not sure which one we're going to see from the NC State Wolfpack yet. I took Central Connecticut plus 4.5 because I could see this one being a close game. As for Auburn and Stetson, I took the Hatters tonight plus 230 to get to the 2-0 spot. This is a Stetson team that I mentioned early in the year that I really liked. Out of the A-Sun, I bet them a bunch the first couple of weeks. They kind of slowed down in the middle of the season, then they picked it right back up, and Stetson looked great the entire rest of the year. I took Stetson here, plus 230. I think it's a big dog that can get the job done and cause a little chaos in this Auburn regional. I still have NC State to win the region at plus 250. I'm basically marking that one dead. But I do like a little bit of Stetson today in the late game and Central Connecticut in the early game. Let's keep on rolling. We got the final regional on the left side of the bracket. Then we'll move over to the right side. In Conway, Central Connecticut, Coastal Carolina, Florida, ECU, and Fairfield. And I paid attention to this one a lot yesterday. Actually, we'll start with the early game. ECU absolutely put belt to ass against the Gators. That game was 9-0. That game was 11-2, finished 11-6, 3-run shot from Florida with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Does not matter. That was the early game. That game started at noon. The Coastal game was supposed to start at 7. First pitch was at 10:30. So they played a late game. I believe that game ended past 10:30, 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock area, 1 a.m., 1:10, something like that. So that one went deep into the night. The only game that lasted longer was in the LSU regional. Dalbap and Rhode Island played a very, very long game. A very late game for Dalbap and Rhode Island. Other than that, Coastal and Fairfield was the only other game on. 10-2 win from Coastal. So 2 blowouts so far. Early game, I took the over in the Florida-Fairfield game. Florida used a lot of bullpen. A lot of bullpen yesterday because they only had one guy that went over 2 innings in an ugly game. So I do think their bullpen's running a little thin. They're a little thin to begin with. But I think they're able to score against Fairfield. Once again, Fairfield threw their ace yesterday. Did not work out well for them. Coastal absolutely killed them. I see Fairfield being able to hit against Florida. I see Florida being able to smash Fairfield pitching. I do lean Florida minus 5.5. I do think this could easily be one of your 16-2 games, and Florida bounces back after a ugly game yesterday. I took the over 15.5 in the Florida game. ECU and Coastal is the nightcap. I took ECU plus 200. This team looks completely different from the last weekend of the year. From the American Conference Tournament on, this team is now 5-0. They've scored 40-something runs in those games, and they just look like a completely different team. They're having fun. There's no pressure. There's no stress, and that is the most dangerous type of team. There's a lot of pressure on Coastal tonight. They are going to be starting the Sunbelt Pitcher of the Year. I believe that's Morrison. ECU's got a fresh bullpen. Connor Norby went deep into last game where he was able to get, I believe it was 7 1/3 innings pitched. And then Jake Hunter took over for the last 1 2/3 innings. So ECU's got a very, very fresh bullpen. Coastal played deep into the night last night. I think it's going to affect them a little bit tonight. I think ECU gets to that 2-0 spot over Coastal. Also, I have ECU to win the regional at 15-1. And they're 1-0 so far. Hopefully win tonight, 2-0, and we'll see from there. But I do have ECU in that one, and I have the over in the Florida game. This regional, this part has gone about the same, about what I expected. This one was a perfect regional for me yesterday because I did have the under in the Texas game, and I had UTSA minus 1.5. Yesterday, Texas took care of business. I believe it was 7-1. Yep, 7-1 versus Houston Christian, although Houston Christian did out-hit Texas 8-7 in that game. On the opposite side, UTSA. Shout out to the American Conference, 2-0 yesterday. 2 dominant wins as UTSA beats Kansas State 10-2 last night. So big wins for both American teams. And I see a little bit more with that. Losers bracket, Kansas State and Houston Christian. I have that one going. Nope, that's Kansas. Kansas State, I have it going over 13. Once again, both teams started their ace last game. Both teams had to use some bullpen last game as well, especially Kansas State had to go through some bullpen. I can see Houston Christian as a live dog here. I can see it. I'm going to be taking the over 13. I see both teams being able to hit. Now, I'm taking UTSA tonight, plus 130. This is a UTSA team that I have a future for them to win the regional at plus 280. I really think this is a good UTSA team. I watched them all year in the Americans. They were in the same conference as ECU. They have a win against Texas already this year. Could be UTSA after them getting their first ever tournament win yesterday. They get their second one today and take down the number 2 team in the nation. So UTSA plus 130 in that one. I think the line's just a little bit too short in that one. That's an interesting line. But fun regional so far. UTSA and then the over in Kansas State. This regional has not gone the way I expected it. We got UCLA, Irvine, Arizona State, Fresno State. UCLA took care of business in this one, I believe. They were the second highest scoring team of the day as they won 19-4 versus Fresno State. The only team that put up more runs was 20 runs by the Georgia Bulldogs, and we'll talk about them in just a minute. So big win for UCLA yesterday in terms of a 15-run win. Irvine and Arizona State also played, and that was, I believe, a 4-2 win from Arizona State. Took down the Anteaters. Unfortunate, I had the Anteaters in that one. I have UC Irvine to win the regional at plus 150 and to make Omaha at 7-1. I don't really see it anymore. I did take Fresno State plus 3.5 in the early game. I expect this one to be close. Once again, I said Fresno State was a team that could win the regional. I thought that they were my 4 seed that I thought can pull it off. I was wrong. There was four seeds that won yesterday. Fresno State was not one of them. But I did take Fresno State plus 3.5. I think they're able to keep it close against Irvine today. And I grabbed UCLA run line to end the night because that's the last game of the night is UCLA. That was UCLA's region is one that a lot of people were picking Irvine and a lot of people picking Arizona State. And everybody's saying that this is one of the biggest upset ones. And it has just not been. UCLA looks dominant, and I think they get the job done, go to the 2-0 spot, and go from there. UCLA run line at the end of the night, and Fresno State plus 3.5 in one of the early games. Yo, what's up, Mr. Crypto Knight? Been busy in the process of moving from Chicago to Dallas. It's a big move, dude. Good luck to you, and it's good to see you here. We're talking some college baseball. Let's head to Athens. Athens, Georgia for the Georgia Regional, or Athens Regional. Georgia, Duke, Oklahoma State, Binghamton. This was another one that went perfectly for me yesterday. We mentioned Georgia a couple minutes ago. They had a 20-4 win versus Binghamton. 20 runs on 15 hits. They looked like the offense that we've expected from them all year. And on the opposite side, we had another blowout because Duke won 12-5 versus Oklahoma State. Don't let that scoreline deceive you. 3 runs in the 8th inning for Oklahoma State. It was a 12-2 game at one point. Duke absolutely dominated that game. I will say I kind of figured this one out. I figured that out yesterday. I took the over in the Binghamton game in the early one. Once again, I think Binghamton's pitching is awful. I think they're going to let up a bunch. I think Oklahoma State's able to score. And once again, Oklahoma State used their ace yesterday. I could see them going and getting hit hard against being able to let up runs versus Binghamton as well. I can easily see this one as a 10-8, 10-4. No, not 10-4. 10-5, 10-6, 12-6, something like that. Oklahoma State probably wins. I took the over 14.5. And for the late game, I did take the Dukies. I took Duke plus 145. Once again, I have futures galore on Duke. I have them to win the regional at 3-1. I have them to make Omaha at 5-1. This is a Duke team that I've been high on all year, and I think they can get the job done tonight versus Georgia. That will definitely be a game I'll keep an eye on for because I think that's going to be a really, really good game. So give me Duke plus 145 in that, and give me the over 14.5 in Binghamton and Oklahoma State. Let's keep on rolling to the Ole Miss Regional, where Ole Miss, Georgia Tech, Western Kentucky, and Murray State. Here's another one that had. This is the last 4 seed that we saw win a game, and Ole Miss loses 9-6 to Murray State. The under did not hit that one. I had the under. did not work out. Georgia Tech, dominant win over the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. And to be fair, I did have that. I did have Georgia Tech run line, which was nice. So that was a 1-1 region. Losers bracket, Ole Miss and Western Kentucky. I'm surprised to see Ole Miss in there. I did take the Rebels here, -1.5. I just don't see them going 0 barbecue in their own regional. I think they bounced back after an ugly game. Western Kentucky, great year. Really good year for them. I don't think they have enough. I think they needed to win against Georgia Tech yesterday to have a chance. They did not. So I am going to be on Ole Miss. And for the Georgia Tech Murray State game, I did take, I believe I took the over 13.5. Once again, Georgia Tech and Murray State both used aces yesterday. That's how Georgia Tech was able to get through Western Kentucky, and they got lucky because Ole Miss got knocked down. So I do see this one going over. I see Georgia Tech having enough offense for this one to go over. We've seen Murray State. Murray State's got some boppers. So keep that one in mind. I like the over in the Georgia Tech and Murray State game. Let's keep on rolling because we've got 4 more regionals to talk to you guys about. LSU, the Baton Rouge regional, which was a weird one because the first game was supposed to start at 2. I believe it started at 7 or 8, something in that range. Where LSU wins 7-0 versus Little Rock. And then Dalbap and Rhode Island played a super freaking late game. I believe that one started at 11:30. And I remember waking up at 2:30 a.m. and I saw the game was still going. So that one went deep. Dalbap won that one 6-2. Now, I'm taking a shot here. Early game. I took Rhode Island -3.5. I don't care that they played the late game. Actually, I'm taking both teams from the late game. Rhode Island -3.5. I just think that Little Rock was happy to be here. Little Rock was the worst team in the field. They were 8-16 in their conference. They were 8 games under 500 in general. They were not a good team. I think Rhode Island takes care of them. And I took Dallas Baptist at +220. This is a Dalbap team that could realistically win this regional. LSU looked good pitching-wise. Their offense not quite as good as we wanted to see in that range. I took a shot. I'm all for chaos, and I'm seeing a bunch of chaos today on the card. A bunch of teams that could possibly lose. I did take Dalbap +220 in the late game. I did take Rhode Island -3.5 in the early game in the LSU regional. I will say I had Rhode Island to win the regional. I'm not overly reliant on that anymore. Rhode Island was 50-1 to win the regional. They would have to go on a big run. I don't see it. But I took a shot. By the way, I also have Georgia Tech +150, so hopefully they can win tonight and go to the 2-0 spot. And I'll have a bunch. Hopefully, I can have a bunch of teams in the 2-0 spot tonight. But Rhode Island future's dead. I think they win today. I think Dalbap. So there you go. 3 regionals left. We head to Clemson regional, where Clemson, West Virginia, Kentucky, and SC Upstate will be going at it. Clemson and West Virginia 1 and 2, and they'll be in the winners bracket. Clemson with a Clemson-esque type of win, because that was not a pretty one. They were down 2-0 into the middle of the 5th, where they could not do anything. 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. They were able to cover the -2.5. Run line for me. Upstate kind of fell apart late. Speaking of falling apart late, Kentucky, one of my heartbreaking losses yesterday because they were up 3-0 early. They scored 3 runs in the 4th inning. Went, all right, we're good. They let up 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the bottom of the 9th. And West Virginia walked it off versus Kentucky. And I just don't think I bet Kentucky, but at this point, I don't think Kentucky deserved to be in the field. So loser bracket game. I did take UC Upstate. SC Upstate. I took them, and they were +165. That's one of the early games today. I took them 165 to take down Kentucky. They're one of the stronger 4 seeds. Obviously, we saw freaking 4 4 seeds win, so none of them were really like the ones I'm like, oh, wow, maybe Columbia. But I'm going to be on South Carolina Upstate. And I did take Clemson. I got Clemson at – where did I get Clemson? -1.5, -110. I have Clemson futures. Clemson to win the regional at -125. Clemson to make Omaha at 4-1. I like this Clemson team. A lot of people are riding them off. I saw a lot of people on Kentucky to win the regional. A lot of people on West Virginia to regional. South Carolina Upstate could be your 4 seed to win a regional. I saw all of that. I stuck with Clemson. So I do like Clemson today. I took their run line, and I do take South Carolina Upstate to bounce Kentucky. Yes, good luck with that, Joe. With that move. There you go. 2 regionals left. Ready to get weird? The regional didn't really get all that weird. Arkansas, Kansas, Creighton, and North Dakota State. We had a Arkansas win 6-2 yesterday. I thought I took the under. I took the over. That was a loser. Accidentally bet the wrong thing. Whoops. And Creighton, dominant win over Kansas. Love to see it. Because I had Creighton yesterday +115. I know a lot of people loved Kansas in this regional. I think Arkansas is going to walk all over it. Creighton into the 1-0 game. I like it. We look at the losers bracket game. Kansas and North Dakota State. I took the over in that game. Kansas threw their ace against Creighton, couldn't get it done. North Dakota State, I think they get hit. I think Kansas is able to put up some runs versus North Dakota State. 13, too low of a total. I can see North Dakota State putting up at least 4 to 5 runs. Kansas wins this game 10-5, something of that nature. And then Creighton and Arkansas. Give me the Blue Jays. I took their outright win, +370. I think this is an upset today. I'm high on this Creighton team. Very high on this Creighton team. I was high on any of the teams that would have come out of the Big East. UConn, Xavier, Creighton. Big East always makes some type of impact in brackets. St. John's didn't. I think they went 1-2 last year. But Big East normally, we've seen UConn make supers. We've seen UConn come very, very close to making Omaha. I see Creighton being able to have a shot to knock down Arkansas, the losers bracket, start off 2-0. I took their money line +370. Oh, forgot to mention, I still have Creighton to win the regional at 12-1. So I'm going to remain high on my Creighton, on the Blue Jays. I took them, and I took the over in the Kansas game. Pacers close out today. I have the Knicks +4. I have the Knicks +4 today. I think that you could very realistically see a 7-game series. And then whoever comes out of the East gets swept by the Thunder. Thunder will go 12-1 or 12-2 against anybody not named the Denver Nuggets. And I'll be right saying that their toughest series would be the Nuggets. Let's head to the final regional today, where we got Tennessee, Wake Forest, Cincinnati, and Miami of Ohio. Tennessee, dominant win yesterday. Oh, wow. Can you say dominant? I think it was, 9-2? Yeah, 9-2 win yesterday. Granted, one of those runs from Miami was in the 9th. So I did catch the under in that game. Leon Doyle eventually settled down for the Tennessee Volunteers. I could have been more right on that Cincinnati game. 11-6 win for Cincinnati versus Wake Forest. So very, very impressive win there from them. And I looked at this one. I think, actually, let's go to the loser game first. Miami of Ohio and Wake Forest. Give me Miami of Ohio +3.5. I said I wasn't high on this Wake Forest team coming into the regional. I said that this team just did not look like the teams that passed that were able to do stuff. And you saw it. They struggled yesterday. They allowed 11 runs to Cincinnati. I took Miami of Ohio +3.5. I took Cincinnati +3.5 as well. I think Cincinnati could realistically win against Tennessee. And I said, although I'm not going to take that because I have Tennessee to make Omaha +165. So that's one of my features. Don't really want to be fading that one. That's why I took Cincinnati +3.5. I think that it's going to be a close game. I just don't know if Cincinnati can necessarily pull it off. Cincinnati did throw their ace yesterday. So did Tennessee. So we'll see. I know Tennessee's a little bit shaky with the pitching. I could also see an over in that game because Cincinnati can hit, and so can Tennessee. So I could definitely see an over with that. But I'm going to be on Cincinnati plus 3.5, and I took Miami of Ohio plus 3.5. 2 dogs to at least keep the games close in the Knoxville regional to end it all out. Check your message later. Lost 3 from a 17-legger, but you're fire in college baseball. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been a really nice little run. Well, not nice little run. It was a really good day yesterday. And I've been paying attention all year. It's been a very good year for college baseball. Let's look at what you got. You lost on Cal Poly. And that was the only thing that you lost from. I got you. But you said Oklahoma. Yes, the Sooners will beat the Tar Heels today. Oklahoma money line over UNC. Yes, I like that a lot. It's one of my favorite plays today. Oklahoma has their ace on the mound, and their big gamble paid off. So yes, Oklahoma to go 2-0 in the regional so far. But that is all from college baseball. I will have the complete MLB card up on the site, and for member only on Earle Sports Bets. So if you guys are interested in getting the MLB card today, which we went a nice, I think, what was it, 4-1 yesterday? Up 5.5, including the WNBA plays. So check that out. $5.99 a month, 16 cents a day, or go over to the picksandparleys.net website. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably a little bit of a shorter show tomorrow because only half the games will be available because we don't know we'll see the 1-1 games tomorrow. So good luck. We'll see you guys then. Let's make some money in college baseball. Let's go Pirates.